I visited a store the other day, and many shelves are becoming empty. Consumers across the globe must have observed an escalating pattern where products increasingly sell out on their release day or remain perpetually out of reach for average customers. Before we begin, make sure to click the like and subscribe buttons to stay updated with the latest videos. A lot of items ranging from PlayStations, Xboxes, and graphics cards to Lego sets, handbags, watches, and even toilet paper seem to be perpetually out of stock. What's the reason behind this? So, is this happening because of acute inflation? Well, no, this is more of a stock shortage problem. Because if things were more expensive, you'd easily get them when you have saved enough for them. Occasional stock shortages are a part of typical supply chain management, but the persistence of this issue raises eyebrows. Every product is the offspring of a profit-driven business, and profits only accrue when products find buyers. So what's the anomaly here? You might be quick to blame the pandemic. Indeed, it has wreaked havoc on global supply chains. But that's not the entire narrative. A temporary supply limitation is one aspect, but if we go by conventional economics, businesses don't typically deplete their stock. They adjust prices to align with demand and optimize profits. Furthermore, the pandemic is no longer a surprise element for companies. It's understandable if they were caught off guard in early 2020. Still, 3 years later, one would expect that the executives managing billion-dollar product launches would have adapted to this altered global scenario. But it seems they haven't. So why exactly is this happening? To comprehend this, we need to delve deeper into certain key areas. How have global supply chains been impacted beyond just attributing everything to COVID-19? Are the companies in question making flawed business decisions? And why aren't these products simply adhering to the rules of supply and demand by adjusting their prices upward? How have global supply chains been impacted beyond just attributing everything to COVID-19? The global supply chains landscape has indeed changed dramatically over the past few years, and while the COVID-19 pandemic has been a major factor, it's far from the only one. Several concurrent shifts and trends have converged to create the perfect storm we are experiencing now. Take, for instance, the escalating tensions between major economies such as the United States and China. Trade wars and geopolitical uncertainties have not only affected the sourcing of raw materials, but have also led to the reconfiguration of global supply chains. Companies have started to reshore or nearshore their manufacturing operations, moving away from the previously dominant model of manufacturing in low-cost regions like Asia. In 2020, Kearney's Reshoring Index noted a dramatic shift with a record year-over-year decrease of 7.4% in U.S. manufacturing imports from Asian low-cost countries. This shift can cause initial disruptions and growing pains as industries adjust to new realities. The demand patterns have also seen a significant shift. As the world became more digitized, the demand for electronics skyrocketed, leading to a global shortage of semiconductors. According to a report from Fortune Business Insights, the global semiconductor market size was USD 425.96 billion in 2020 and is projected to reach USD 803.15 billion by 2028, exhibiting a CAGR of 8.6% during the forecast period. This demand surge, coupled with pandemic-related disruptions, has strained the semiconductor industry, impacting everything from automobiles to video game consoles. Consumer behavior has also evolved with an increased focus on sustainability. A 2020 survey by IBM indicated that nearly 6 in 10 consumers were willing to change their shopping habits to reduce environmental impact. This has put pressure on companies to reevaluate their supply chains, often leading to significant structural changes to ensure more sustainable and ethical sourcing and production. On another hand, the global logistic industry has been going through a crisis even before the pandemic hit. According to the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals' 2020 report, logistics costs as a percentage of the U.S. gross domestic product, GDP, grew from 7.9% in 2007 to 8.6% in 2020, indicating a systemic increase in logistics costs over time. This rise has been due to a combination of factors including increased fuel prices, a shortage of truck drivers, and increased regulations. all of which have put a strain on global shipping. Moreover, changing labor dynamics also play a crucial role. The shift in economic powerhouses has seen emerging markets like India, Vietnam, and Bangladesh becoming more integral to the global supply chain. However, these countries face their own challenges, such as labor unrest and infrastructural deficits. For instance, the World Bank's Logistics Performance Index 2018 ranked India 44th out of 160 countries, indicating significant room for improvement. Such aspects can have knock-on effects on the overall efficiency and reliability of global supply chains. Infrastructure, especially in the area of logistics, has also become a point of concern. Ports around the world are facing increased congestion due to a surge in global trade. According to a 2021 report by the Lodestar, major ports like Los Angeles and Long Beach in the U.S. have seen an unprecedented level of congestion, with dozens of container ships anchored and waiting to berth. These bottlenecks have significant downstream effects, causing delays and increasing costs across multiple industries. Are the companies in question making flawed business decisions? The question of whether companies are making flawed business decisions is complex and requires a nuanced approach. While it's easy to point fingers, we must remember that businesses operate in a dynamic, uncertain environment where even the best strategies can sometimes fall short. One area under scrutiny is the widespread adoption of the just-in-time (JIT) inventory system, which aims to increase efficiency by reducing in-process inventory and associated carrying costs. As we've seen, this system can be particularly vulnerable to disruptions. The JIT approach, championed by companies like Toyota in the 1970s, has become a cornerstone of modern manufacturing. According to a 2020 Gartner survey, 53% of supply chain professionals reported using JIT delivery models. However, the pandemic revealed the fragility of this system. When factories shut down, companies operating with minimal inventory were left exposed. Another potential misstep lies in the realm of risk management. Many companies have neglected to diversify their supply chains, instead relying heavily on single-source suppliers for key components. While this can cut costs in the short term, it can also lead to significant vulnerabilities. A study by the Business Continuity Institute found that 40% of companies experienced a supply chain disruption due to a Tier 1 supplier, and 21% due to a Tier 2 or 3 supplier. Furthermore, while digital transformation has been a buzzword across industries, many companies have been slow to fully implement digital supply chain management systems. McKinsey reported in 2020 that only 43% of companies have started their supply chain digitization journey. Without robust digital systems, companies struggle to maintain visibility across their supply chains, which can lead to inefficiencies and increased vulnerability to disruptions. Also, there's a question of strategic foresight. According to a 2019 report by Gartner, only 21% of supply chain professionals believe their organizations have a highly resilient network. This suggests a lack of strategic planning for disruptions, which has been brought to light by the recent crisis. However, it's important to recognize that these potential missteps are not necessarily signs of incompetence, but rather reflections of the complex, challenging nature of managing a global supply chain. Companies are having to navigate an increasingly volatile and uncertain landscape, marked by rapid technological change, shifting consumer expectations, and unpredictable geopolitical and environmental factors. In this context, decision-making becomes a high-stakes balancing act, and it's inevitable that some decisions will not pan out as expected. What's crucial is that companies learn from these experiences and continuously adapt and evolve their strategies to better navigate the complexities of our interconnected world. So why aren't these products simply adhering to the rules of supply and demand by adjusting their prices upward? The theory of supply and demand suggests that in a free market, prices should rise when supply decreases or demand increases. However, the real-world application of this principle is not always straightforward. Several factors can explain why companies might not be increasing their prices despite supply shortages. One primary reason is the fear of alienating consumers. A steep increase in prices, especially during a crisis, could be perceived as price gouging, damaging a company's reputation and consumer trust. For instance, in 2020, Amazon removed over 1 million products for price gouging related to the pandemic, indicating the potential backlash companies can face. Moreover, businesses are also wary of the potential for demand elasticity, which refers to the change in demand in response to a change in price. For products like luxury goods or non-essential items, a significant price hike could lead to a substantial drop in demand. According to a study published in the Journal of Retailing in 2020, demand elasticity for luxury goods can be significantly higher than for necessity goods. Another factor at play is long-term contracts that lock in prices. Suppliers often have agreements with retailers or distributors that set the price of a product for a specific period. Such contracts can prevent immediate price adjustments in response to supply and demand fluctuations. So there you have it. Your inability to get regular stuff is not because they got more expensive. It is because they're simply out of stock. And we hope this video has given you an insight into why this is happening. Drop a comment if you have any questions or contributions.